What up, my friends? How's everybody doing in this beautiful evening? Wonderful out here. Beautiful Colorado. Look at the sunset over there out in the wild, wild west. Get sentenced on Friday. Stressing a little bit, not too much. Enough for a cigarette to calm the nerves. You rarely see me smoke these things. How's everybody doing? Sentencing on Friday, 8:30 a.m. Should go good. Done everything I was supposed to do. 6 felonies. Should get dropped to 1. 1 felony, hopefully probation. Fingers crossed, probation. Sorry I haven't been on here. I've been working my ass off. I'm icing my knee right now. Wesley, what up? Good to see you, my homie. Bigfoot, what's cracking, baby? Yeah, I'm icing my knee right now. I've been working like 45, 50 hours a week. Knee's killing me. I need to lose some damn weight with my fat ass. Footloose, what up? I've been working 45 to 50 a week. And I've been building the eBay store. I'm trying to get this eBay store up and running to the point to where I don't have to work 40 hours a week. To where I'm making more on my own time than everything else. And once I do that, then I can really focus on YouTube. And plus my computer's messing up. I can't figure out what's going on with it. I need to get an iPad or something like that. I think I'm gonna get an iPad next. But my brother's coming back from the military in like a month. He's coming back. He's got leave coming in. He's gonna bring back his wife. He found a wife in South Korea. He's gonna marry some math teacher from South Korea. Oh no, they might all be math teachers in South Korea. Smart woman though, apparently. It says she got a master's in mathematics. He found some woman who got a master's in mathematics who's working on her PhD. He's a smart kid. Turns out he found someone smarter, I guess. But I'm happy for him. So he's bringing her back here to meet my family, to meet my grandmother and my family, and then he's in California, and then he's bringing him out here to meet my mom and me, hang out for a little while. So I'm gonna have him look at my computer then. I don't know what the hell's going on with my computer. Let's see, got a refurbished laptop that didn't detect a battery, so they replaced it, and the replacement has the same problem. Refurbished laptop that didn't detect a battery, so there's something wrong with it detecting a battery. So batteries didn't detect the battery. I don't know about that. Let's see. Bam. But anyway, sentencing on Friday. The lawyer seems to think it'll go well. Let's see if I can swap it this way so I can see the chat better. Bam. So that way I'm not putting my hand in front of the camera every time I'm trying to look at the comments. Look at that sunset. That sunset is beautiful. But anyway, I've been grinding my ass off, trying to get a place and trying to get a car. So I'm not running around without a car. I think I got enough. Actually, I know I got enough. I have enough. I'll have almost $4,000 this next paycheck. And that'll be enough to pay my rent and go get me a car. Just a little beater or something like that. You know what I mean? Phone dying. That's all right. No worries, brother. Thank you for stopping by. You drop out. Man. eBay's going good, though. I got this eBay up and running. It's done well. I got to get back to YouTube, though. I got to get back to YouTube bad. See, bam. Here, let's hold this so it stops moving a little bit. There we go. That's better. How's everybody doing? Wesley, I see you. What about that fight? Mile High's kind of a beast, isn't he? Big old beefy fucker. Been meeting to get on here with him lately. We've been trying to connect. We ain't been able to make it mesh with our schedules. That's my next step too. Once I get a car, get back in the gym, I'm just gonna start getting my ass up early in the morning before work to start wake. Cause I'm already waking up at like 5:30 anyway. I wake up at 5:30 to get my ass to work. But now that I got a car, it'll make my travel to work a lot quicker. So I'm just gonna start still just waking up at 5:30 and then just go hit the gym real quick. Hit the gym before work. Hitting the gym after work don't work. Never works. You're always too tired. You know what I mean? You won't get it in right the way that you're supposed to. Doing good at work though. So I got sentencing for 6 felonies. What are they? Financial transaction devices, stolen car, some other shit. The last deal was 1 felony. I go in the morning and get it over. Yeah, that's what you have to do. You got it, because if you wait till after work, you'll be too burnt. You might go to the gym, but you're not going to get the gym in like you're supposed to. Because no matter what, whenever you go to work, you're going to get your job in because you got to get your job in. The work's got to get done. So you're going to get that in no matter what. You know what I mean? So if you go into work first, you're going to spend all your energy at work. And then by the time you get to the gym, you're going to be beat up. You got to just get to the gym, get that in, get your money in, and then go hit your job because you're going to get your job done no matter what. Timmy, what up? I'm doing good on this eBay shit, though. I built one channel with this one dude. OC, what up? I built one channel with this one dude, and then he relapsed. He relapsed on me. So I had to shut that channel down. I was at almost 3,000 in sales in the first month on him. Man, I've been hustling out of these, just going to the segundas, just going to the Goodwills, picking up stuff, and then going and just slanging and reselling it on eBay. I've been doing really good, actually. Really, really good. They say it's dead. I mean, Goodwill, the prices are crazy and shit whenever you go in there because they know the people are reselling out of there, but I don't have no problem making money out of it. I've been making good money. Just got to know what you're looking for. How's everybody been? I don't really see nobody live no more. Like, that shit's real. You don't even see Puffy live. Even Puffy used to at least go live. Motherfucking Timmy. Man, my knee is fucked up. Poor knee been carrying my fat ass around, getting high and all this other dumb shit for all these years. Lifting weights in the joint and everything else. My knee busted. No one is live anymore. Yeah, I know, OC. Nobody's live anymore. I gotta start going live. I get off around like 5 or 6. Scante, what up? Going for sentencing on Friday. I should get 3 years probation. That's what I think. 3 years felony probation. But nah, like sometimes I don't even get back home till like 8 o'clock, and then waking up at 5. I gotta be in bed by 10. You know what I mean? So it's like I get back at 8, take a shower, relax for a minute, ice my knee. Ain't even no time. But like I said, all that's gonna change. I got enough. I saved up enough for a car. I'm working my ass off. I saved up enough for a car. I'll be all right. Once I get that car, it's gonna take because I'm traveling an hour and a half to work in the morning. It takes me an hour and a half to work, hour and a half to get home. I work about 8-9 hours. So by the time I get home, I'm dusted. That's all right. The wages is sin, you know what I mean? You gotta pay. Fucking pay the cost to be the motherfucking boss, homie. Fuck up. You gotta pay them dues. That's all right though. As long as my knee lasts, I'll be all right. Harder part is work. Is dealing with hey man, I gotta say, well, okay, so I gotta say, my job has actually been my direct boss. This is a black dude named Reggie. Reggie been cool than a motherfucker, man. But Reggie put in this 2 weeks. His last day is on Friday, the same day I go to court. And my job's kind of scrambling to try to replace this dude because this dude works hard. Dude works hard and he's really good at his job. Like he kicks ass. You know what I mean? I'll give him that. Dude kicks ass. He's a hell of a loss. Being in the being in the restaurant industry. If you know anything about the restaurant industry, good people they can be hard to find. Good help is hard to find anyway. Reggie said, "Fuck y'all." Reggie did. I don't know for a fact, but I think they passed him over. I think they passed him over for the head chef position because they went and hired around him. Because maybe he doesn't have all the stuff for the maybe his resume isn't up to scale or something to be a head chef. But that fool knows the whole store. He knows the whole restaurant from back to front. You know what I mean? He knows the whole restaurant back to front, and that's hard to find. Let's see if I put this light on. Let's see what it looks like if I put this light on. Let's see if it blows me out all crazy. Oh, not too bad. Makes it a little darker behind me. Man. Sober. I'm at least sober, right? Look good sober. Neck coming back. Trap's coming back a little bit. Yeah, Reggie said he got better stuff to do. Nah, he found him a what's called. He found him like a head chef position. I ain't mad at it. But I can't do it. Man, them hashtag save Reggie, I'm telling you. They're scrambling. They're scrambling hard, and then they just had a stage. They had a working interview with some dude who was supposed to come in and he's supposed to be Reggie's replacement. And I guess it didn't go too well. They told me today it didn't go too well. So I don't know. But Reggie been cool as shit. I've been working. Reggie been my direct supervisor the whole time. Reggie been cool as shit. And they even said whenever they gave me this job, and all I do is cook all day long. I come in and I got a big ass prep list of shit. And it's not prep like, oh, peel some potatoes or do something like that. It's prep. It'd be a list to like make a bunch of sauces and a bunch of soups and a bunch of make some green chili and make some prime rib and make some, this and that. It's all like shit that's actually kind of complicated. You know what I mean? Shit that you have to pay attention to. And they said whenever they gave me the job, they're like, this is like a skilled position. You know what I mean? They're saying, and they're paying me well. They're paying me all right. I need a raise though, but they're paying me all right out the gate. Because it ain't easy. I have 5 or 6 things going at the same time. You know what I mean? Different sauces and soups and meats and shit like that. And they said the only other person they could find that could do the job was Reggie. Whenever they gave me the job, they're like, the only person who's really been able to keep up is Reggie. And he was one of the sous chefs. Like, they basically ain't got nobody else that could keep up with this job. I was like, I could do it. And I've done it. I've kept up with it, but now they're losing Reggie. So they're losing somebody who knows even more than me. It's going to hurt. I can already tell it's going to hurt. But I'm doing good. They put me on this misdemeanor probation out of Denver. I caught a misdemeanor in Denver a while back, a little drug charge. They put me on this misdemeanor probation out of Denver. Boy, if these fools ain't bilking Medicaid, I don't know who is. I swear to God, they work in Medicaid. I don't care what they talking about. These fools signed me up on a misdemeanor. I did the math on this nonsense, right? On a misdemeanor. They got me going to 6 hours of class a week. All those hours are billable. That's all billable because they're making sure that Medicaid pays for everything now, right? So they're billing Medicaid straight. They're billing the federal government for me being on probation, right? For my treatment. So you figure 6 hours a week times 4 weeks in a month, right? 24 hours a month times they're billing it at like 80 hours or something like that. That's like $2,000 a month. That's like $2,000 a month. Average probation sentence is 2 years. That's $48,000 or $24,000. 48 that well, no 24 months times 2,000. That's $48,000. So over the next 2 years of misdemeanor probation, a misdemeanor drug charge, they're gonna charge Medicaid $50,000 for me being on probation. Imagine that. You think I'm gonna get $50,000 for the treatment? I have a feeling no, right? And that's without UAs. They billing medical for UAs. I guarantee they throwing in some other charges too. That's just the billable hours. That's just the billable hours for the actual That's just the billable hours for the actual classes. That's not talking about all the other supervision costs and stuff like that. The meetings that I actually have with the probation officer. These mosquitoes are coming out. Stuff like that. That's going to be way more. What's my gut tell me about Friday? My gut tells me I'm going to get probation. And here's why. Here's why I would say that. We made a case to the judge and said, hey, I've been doing good for so long, going to college and doing all this, being sober for all these years, right? Clearly, I know how to act in society. Clearly, I know how to act right. So the judge lowered my bond from very high to a low bond so that I could get out and get into treatment. Well, I've got into treatment, done everything I was supposed to do. All my UAs are clean. I got a full-time job. I'm complying with probation. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do. So it doesn't make any sense for them to lower my bond. And the DA, whenever they lowered my bond, the DA didn't object to them lowering my bond to let me out, right? So why would the DA not object to me getting out so that I could get into treatment and then say, well, he's done great in treatment. He's done everything he's supposed to do. He's paying his rent. He's in full compliance with the place. He's doing everything he's supposed to do and then still send me to prison. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you even let me out? Why would you even agree to let me out? You know, I mean, the DA didn't recommend that I get out, but they didn't object to it. So that tells me I should be good. I don't see, they're just really not, and I have a really good judge. I have one of the best judges. Pack that prison wallet. Nah, man. Hey, I'll be honest with you. They, whenever you get arrested now, I'm pretty sure they x-ray you. I think that's what I went through. It may have been a metal detector, but that shit's sketch. I don't know if I would do it. And I've done that several times. Don't get me wrong. I've done it several times. Chief, what up? I've done it several times, but I don't know if I'd want to do it this time, especially because the county that I caught these felonies in is Douglas County, Colorado, which is one of the richest counties per capita in the United States. It's got crazy money. Like whenever you run into these cops got everything. These cops that you'll see on their vest, they have every single thing you could think of. All these cops, every single cop that you see is fully kitted out. I mean, fully kitted out with assault rifles and everything in their car. They got everything you could think of. Every traffic light got cameras on it. Every traffic light in the city of Castle Rock has cameras on it. They're just all on it. You know what I mean? They're just on it all the time. And it's a very rich county, and they have more than enough to They have more than enough to afford an X-ray, a metal detector, whatever. And they put you through something, and they have you like stand in this thing, and then they scan you. I don't know. It could be an X-ray, it could be a metal detector, but I'm cool on that. Let's see. I know in Cali they have the chair. You sit on it, and it will detect just about anything. Yeah, they have the chairs. This thing was like a full body scan. They have a full body scan thing where you go in there. But, well, I just don't see that. I don't see any reason why they would put me. They're really not trying to send people to to prison right now, unless you're violent, unless you do something violent or you're just incorrigible, or if you get caught with a bunch of guns and dope, they're kind of tripping on that too. Because everybody and their mom now is catching gun cases. Like everybody's got guns now. And we've always had guns, but not like this. Everybody you meet in the county is on a gun case or a stolen car case. Yeah, hoop gang, exactly. You know, so I don't think they're trying to send me to prison. It wouldn't make any sense for them to try to send me to prison. I've done everything that I was supposed to do. You know, why would they let me out? Let's see. Tripped me out when I seen the sign for Green Valley Ranch when I was there. I asked Conrad, they make ranch dressing. The Green Valley. They make ranch dressing. Green Valley Ranch. I didn't even think of that. Isn't that Hidden Valley? It's Hidden Valley Ranch. Green Valley Ranch. Stupid. Uh, Man, it got dark behind me, didn't it? Let's see what happens if we turn this light off. Oh, that's like a campfire. He looked at me like, what the whole city full of ranch dressing. Green Valley Ranch. No, Green Valley Ranch is a new subdivision. They built a new subdivision out there. It's actually a lot of black folks out in Green Valley Ranch. It's mostly what it is out there. There we go. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what the hell's wrong with my computer. I've been thinking about getting a what's called though anyway. I've been thinking about getting an iPad ever since I ended up losing my iPad. I'm thinking about getting a new not a new iPad, but one that's decently new anyway. I think I need one. You can get a decent one for a couple $100 off like Marketplace or something like that. Just to start working on Apple products again. I miss my Apple products. But no, I think I'm good. I feel good about going in for sentencing. I think I'll be all right. But I'm telling you though, these people, and something I realized, because for all the years, if you remember how they used to talk about prisons, right? The private prisons. They say, oh, the prison industrial complex, and they locked everybody up, and da 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 da, and this and that. And it was always the Democrats. It was always the Democrats complaining, right? And if you think about it, the Republicans are the ones who own the prisons and things of this nature. Okay, cool. It made sense, why they were so pissed off about it. But now, after all this, what I've realized is the Democrats were just pissed because they weren't getting their piece of the pie. That's all they were tripping on, right? Because the Democrats have control. They have control of Denver. They got control of the money and whatnot. Denver is the capital. It's the capital city of Colorado, and it's the main financial center. You know what I mean? For hundreds of miles in any way, basically until you get down to like Phoenix, or out to the West Coast. This is the main financial center of the area, and that's what it is. They're just mad that they weren't getting their piece of the pie. That's all they were tripping on, is because they weren't getting their piece of the pie. Now, okay, I will give them this. If you think about it, if you've got two choices for where the money can go into like nonprofit organizations and these places that are bilking Medicaid, right? These places that are racking up all these hours with Medicaid, or it can go into the stock of a private prison. Well, the money going into these places bilking Medicaid, these sober living homes and stuff like that, these treatment centers, that money is going to get recycled back it's going to get paid out in people's salaries. And then this money is going to go back into society and it will drive the economy more. So, okay, I get that. But you're still bilking Medicaid. You're still really not trying to help anybody. They're not trying to help anybody. They don't care. They're recruiting these people. They try to put me in classes 3 days a week, on like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday, like you got till like 4:00 to get your UA in, and on Saturday you got till like 2:30. I told them I can't do that. I said I work a full-time job, dog. I said I work a full-time job. I'm not going to class 3 days a week. So they took 2 of my classes and stacked them into the same day, and I was like, what are you guys doing? Who is this scheduled for? Who has time to do this? Who has time to go to class in the middle of the day, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and then drop a UA by the middle of the day on Friday and drop a UA by the middle of the day on Saturday? Homeless people. Homeless people with no job. These are the only people that could do that. You know what I mean? That's what they're doing. Is they're pulling these people who end up with drug crimes are people that are pulled off the street. These are homeless people that get pulled off the street. They give them a little drug charge, and then over the course of the next 2 years, they rack up $50,000 from Medicaid, right? They charge Medicaid $48,000 or whatever, $50,000, $60,000 over the course of the next 2 years, to make these people sit in classes all day. You know that most people are going to relapse anyway, right? It's not a lot of people who end up, a lot of drug addicts who end up like I had almost 10 years sober. It's not a lot of people like that. I just came off a long run of sobriety, so it's not that hard for me to jump right back into it to try to get my life back and things of this nature. Most of these people aren't in that boat. Most of these people who are out on the streets aren't in that boat. They're still in the middle of active addiction. Maybe you clean them up, they catch a little charge, you clean them up in jail a little bit, send them to a rehab. Within 60, 90 days, they go right back to the streets. They're right back to the streets. They're messing up again. They're getting high again. And then you just recycle them again. They catch a new charge and you recycle them again. You recycle them again. And every time you're just running up these hours, billing these hours, sending it all to Medicaid, right? Sending them through sober living homes. They're using Medicaid money to pay for people's rent in sober living homes, right? Instead of making the people go get a job and pay their own rent, right? So they'll give them like a 3-month grant or something like that. They go into these sober living homes. They'll sit there for 2-3 months, relapse, get kicked out of that sober living home, and then just go to the next one down the way because there's hundreds of them all over the city, right? So it's become like this industrial complex, this rehab industrial complex. Instead of the prison industrial complex, it's become the rehab industrial complex where they're just bilking Medicaid for a bunch of money. Let's see. Yeah, thank you, OC. Yeah, it is way better that way. I'm doing better this way anyway. Legit hustling, like I said. Because it's such a rich city, I'm having no problems going. I go down to the rich neighborhoods. I don't live too far from some rich neighborhoods. I'm out here in the west side. I live right on the border of a suburb. So I go a couple miles into the suburb over here, out into Lakewood, into the nice parts of Lakewood. I go to the Goodwill. I found a stenograph yesterday. If anybody knows what a stenographer is, the lady inside the courtroom who types all the stuff up. Found a stenograph machine yesterday for $20. These things go for like $350 on eBay. You know what I mean? I haven't posted it yet, but I'm getting ready to post it. I'll post it probably tomorrow or the next day whenever I get some time. Probably Friday. If I do, as long as I don't end up in jail. It was dope. I definitely had a great time. Yeah, hell yeah. Denver's dope, dog. Denver's dope. There's a gang of money out here. There's a gang of stuff to do. You know what I mean? It is a major city. If you're not out here messing up and fucking up and shit like that, there's females everywhere. There's females everywhere. There's all kinds of stuff to do. There's all kinds of money. You know what I mean? You can live off of what's out of people's trash cans. You could just drive around all day and just go through the trash out here in the nice neighborhoods, homie, and sell that stuff on eBay, resell it on Facebook Market, and you can make a living. I swear, that's how rich it is out here. There's money out here. I wish you the best. Yeah. When you're supposed to work? I go into work tomorrow. I work like 8 to like 5:30, sometimes 6. They did my daughter that way too. Yeah, that's what they do. They just keep recycling them in and out. And I've been hit up on that medically assisted treatment shit, which is just drugs. It's just methadone, Suboxone, or whatever, like 3 times already. They've brought that shit up. Oh, well, you could sign up for the MAP program. I ain't trying to be on no fucking dope. What? Because it's legal dope. We already learned about that with OxyContin. You guys ain't responsible with these drugs. You guys are getting kickback. I wouldn't be surprised if they're getting kickbacks from the medical establishment for putting people on Suboxone and putting people on methadone. for how many times I've been hit up about Suboxone and methadone, and I've never shown any interest. I never asked. One time, whenever I was in the county, I sent a kite about it because I wanted to see what they would say. Because people were saying, yeah, they'll just put you on it. Da, 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 da. I was like, yeah, let me check it out. But other than that, I've shown no interest in methadone or anything like that. I've never been, when I go to jail, I clean up. I like to get my mind right. You know what I mean? And I've shown no interest in wanting this stuff. 3 times they've offered me either methadone or Suboxone. I don't even use opiates like that. I ain't said nothing about having no cravings. I ain't having no cravings, no withdrawals, no nothing like that. I ain't said nothing about it. I ain't complained about it or nothing like that. And 3 times they've brought it up. I can almost guarantee you they're getting some sort of kickback, just like they're getting kickbacks from the Oxycontin epidemic. Whenever they were prescribing Oxycontin, they marketed Oxycontin and told everybody it wasn't addictive. If that wasn't a lie, right? If that wasn't the biggest lie ever, you know? And then what happens? Think about it. Think about what happened to the Sackler family, about all that opioid epidemic and the Oxycontin and da, 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 da. Think about what happened about all that. What happened? The government sued the Sackler family, and then they had to pay a big-ass fine to the government. They didn't victimize the government. They victimized us. Right? Why the hell would you be paying a fine to the U.S. government? The government filed suit against the Sackler family. The government won a judgment against the Sackler family, right? So what do you mean? We're the ones who took the brunt of that shit. We're the ones dealing with the opioid epidemic. That's what's led to all this fentanyl. Whenever I was growing up, there wasn't nobody doing, homie, whenever I was growing up, there would be like 1 out of 20 of your homies that like to do heroin. Like 1 out of just a couple of the homies. They basically like to do heroin. Everybody else, they do coke or speed or whatever else. But nobody did heroin. Everybody on this fucking fentanyl. All of a sudden, everybody's on this fentanyl. This is a direct result of the fucking Oxycontin epidemic. They caused all this. The government caused all this. Think about that. Just whenever they found an answer to what they had done, all the damage that they had done from the Oxycontin epidemic, what happens? The United States gets flooded with fentanyl, right? To the point to where you're getting it, at the height of it, people were getting pills for, if you bought 1,000 of them, you get them for 25 cents, 30 cents, 40 cents, something like that. You get a pill for $1, right? You buy 100 of them, you get a pill for $1. You know what I mean? Just whenever we were getting out of the grip of the Oxycontin epidemic, whenever they decided they weren't going to hand out Percocets or Percodan or any of this shit anymore. You can't pull one of those out of a fucking doctor's ass anymore, no matter how sick you are. Basically, unless you're dying, you can't get a fucking Vicodin anymore, right? They basically got to cut you open for you to get a Vicodin anymore. You got to have some sort of surgery or something like that to get a fucking Vicodin out of a doctor, right? So just whenever we were starting to get over that, they found an answer. They thought they found the answer. Okay, well, we're not going to have doctors prescribe this anymore. Da, 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 da. And then they flood the country with fentanyl, right? And I don't believe that they didn't have something to do with it. They had something to do. They were either complicit or they let it happen, right? And think about all those people that Joe Biden let into the country. If you could let a person into the country, how many pills can you let into the country? Because pills don't got to breathe. They don't got to eat. They don't got to drink water. They don't got to hydrate. They ain't got to do none of that. You just pack them across the border. And whatever you can get in, they know what they were doing. Hold on. Let me get to these comments. Clean wash money? Yeah. Yeah. I had friends in a 2-year drug court that took them 5 years to complete. Yeah. Yeah. That's what they've set up now. They've just set up, and the thing is they sit on things that are true, right? They sit on stances that are true. The truth is, it's not a good idea to lock up everybody and their fucking mother. It's not a good idea to just put people in jail for drugs. That's not a good idea. You know what I mean? Just for simply using drugs and shit like that. But at the same time, whenever I caught that case in Denver, whenever I caught that misdemeanor case in Denver, I was high as shit. Whenever I caught that case, they put me in Denver County. I was out before I ever went to sleep, right? Like whenever I got to Denver County and got arrested, I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go sit down for a couple weeks or something. You know what I mean? Maybe a month. I'll get to clean up, get some sleep or something like that. No, they just kicked me right back out. Kicked me right back out. I never even came down. I was right back out on the street doing what I was doing before. You know what I mean? That's not a good idea. The societal pendulum is swung back the other way, right? Now, Trump's trying to do something about it now, but Trump's only got 4 years. You know what I mean? And unless he stays the course, like you see today, they federalized the Washington, D.C. police force. They said the chief of police over there in Washington, D.C. was just been lying about the statistics. Oh, yeah, crime's down and violent crime is down because they've been reclassifying violent crime. That's why. Because they reclassified a bunch of violent felonies down into misdemeanors. And then they're like, violent felonies are down. You know what I mean? And Trump's just like, this is ridiculous. Washington, D.C., if Washington, D.C. was a state, they said it'd be one of the most deadly states in the United States. Let's see. I meant going to class every day when you're supposed to work. Oh, yeah. No complaint, you're going to put up with that. No. And that's what I'm going to tell him, too. You know what I mean? Like what do you guys want? If you're going to tell me that what are you going to tell me? I got to quit my job? I got to quit my job to comply. My normal job, I ain't got no crazy-ass hours. I ain't working no crazy-ass, ridiculous hours or nothing like that. I work 8 to 5, 5:30. These are normal business hours. I'm not working in the middle of the night or something like that. And what you going to tell me? That what, I got to quit my job to go comply with this shit? Like, that's absurd. I want that on paper, right? If they're going to tell me that, I want that on paper. I want a legitimate government official that is involved in the rehabilitation of criminals and drug addicts to put on paper that they want me to go quit my gainful employment, my 40 hours a week that I'm working, 45 hours a week that I'm working at a good wage so I can comply with some misdemeanor probation on a misdemeanor drug charge. You gonna make me quit my job? I don't think they are, right? Because I've already switched my days. I'm switching my days up again, my days off, which my job don't care. As long as they got me 5 days a week to get in there and make shit, they don't care what days I take off. They've already told me that. They're like, as long as we got you for 5 days a week, you're good. Whatever days off you need, that's cool, you know? But they're not going to let me just leave in the middle. You know how fucking Friday and Saturday are prime time? I can't leave at 2:30 in the afternoon to make it down there by 4 o'clock on Friday and then leave at noon on Saturday. These are the busiest days in the restaurant industry. Restaurants aren't going to put up with that, you know. But my understanding is they do have 24-hour places where you can go and they will accept UAs from those places. So I may just have to switch the place where I take UAs. But see, they didn't tell me that whenever they signed me up for it. They just said, oh, no, you got to go down here to do this, They didn't say all that. But once I got to talking to some people, my understanding is I can actually take it at another place, which it shouldn't be that much of a problem as long as I get this car. I'll get this car next week. You know what I mean? That's like I said, that's why I haven't been on here. I've been just working my ass off and saving every penny, trying to build this eBay channel and just scrape together as much money as I can because I got to get mobile. You know what I mean? Because that's going to free up. I travel an hour and a half to work every day, all the way across. I go way down to the other side of the city, all the way down into the south side of the city. It takes me an hour and a half to get there, hour and a half back. So having that car is going to save that big time. That's going to save that big time. Save all that time. Skid Row, what up? It's going good, brother. It's going good. I'm doing good. Sober, doing the right thing. They give you the problem and say you're the cure. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They have. That's what they have. That's exactly what they're doing. They you know, and then they act like I said, they're trying to push this medically assisted treatment shit. It's like, I don't trust you people. You guys are the same ones that were selling Oxycontin, right? The cartel wasn't making Oxycontin, you know? And the Oxycontin epidemic, the pain pill epidemic that they caused, that the government authorized, is exactly what started all this fucking fentanyl shit. And now they want to scream and cry and everything else. They want to throw a fit about it because their kids are dying, right? because that fentanyl affects everybody. Because their kids are dying, and the people they know are dying, and people are dying all over the city, and you see these zombies out there, passed out in public, right? That used to be very, back in the day, people who did drugs out in public and got high, they would take that shit under the bridge. You go down under the bridge and find people, laid out and shit like that. Now they're just out in the open. They're just out in the open for everybody to see. They're in front of City Hall. The respectable people that are going to work, the DAs and public defenders, they got to walk past all the zombies to get into work. Now they talking about the streets are unsafe. Yeah, you guys did this shit. You know what I mean? You guys did this shit. You let all this shit in here. You talking about fresh out of prison, taking all the court classes every day. How's a man supposed to hold down? Yeah. Like, and that's what I'm saying, on misdemeanor probation. I've been on intense supervision parole for serious felonies, and I wasn't doing 3 classes a week. Why? Well, because back whenever I was on parole, we had to pay for the UAs. We had to pay for the classes. And we didn't have that type of money. We're getting fresh out of the joint. You can't strap me with 3 classes that cost $35, $40 a week, and then a UA that costs $25 and all this other shit. You couldn't do that because it wouldn't have been economically feasible. But now that the government's paying, right? Now that the government's paying for this situation, now they're just stacking everybody up with classes. Now they got a whole list of classes that you need to take. And I can't wait to get into these classes. I'm going to start I'm going to start, I'm going to chronicle this shit too, as they make me go through these classes. These classes better be worth it. They better not be a bunch of nonsense. If these fools fuck up, I'm going to be making a documentary on all this waste and all this nonsense, since they want to just run it up. Now that Medicaid's paying for it, they're just going to run it up, huh? They're just going to run the money up. They're just going to run the bill up. Oh, Medicaid's paying. You know what I mean? Stack them with classes. For fucking misdemeanor drug charge because I get caught with a couple pills in my pocket. Now you're going to just run the bill up, huh? $50,000 because that's what they're doing. $50,000 because I got caught with a couple pills in my pocket. They're going to charge the federal government $50,000 because I got caught with a couple pills in my pocket. That doesn't seem feasible over a long period of time, right? They're seeing us as if we're dollar signs. We're dollar signs. The local government here in Denver knows that they can run up a bill with the federal government for $50,000 because they convicted me of a crime. I'm worth way more to them out here on the streets because now they can bilk Medicaid for $50,000 over the next 2 years. I'm worth way more than I would be if they put me in jail. Then they got to take care of me. They got to feed me. They got to house me. They got to do all that. No. We're going to let you out, player. And hopefully you relapse a couple times. That's what they thinking. You relapse a couple times, we'll keep you on there longer. We'll stack some more classes on there, right? Because every class becomes more billable hours, right? That pill mill to fentanyl thing was promoted, transition, government sponsored. I guarantee it. They at no time in my life have I ever seen drugs as cheap as they were whenever I was out running around right now. I made a video about it and people told me I was full of shit. People jumped in the comments and I was just talking about the price of street drugs out here. Methamphetamine was $100 an ounce out here. People told me I was lying. I swear to God, on my motherfucking hood, I ain't lying. On my hood, I ain't lying, dog. Smokers were getting it. Like, because I'm plugged a little bit, you know what I mean? I know some people. I know a couple people, so I'm doing okay. You know, so I could even get an ounce. You get an ounce sometimes for $75, $80. You know what I mean? Smokers would get them for $140, $130, something like that, all day. I made a video about it. People told me I was lying. They told me I was full of shit. Oh yeah, right, Pablo Escobar. I wasn't lying, homie. Them were the prices. If you was buying in bulk, you was getting ounces for like $35, $40. If you was buying in bulk, you know what I mean? Pounds were cheap. For a while there, pounds were like $800, $900, something like that. Like the shit was cheaper than fuck. right? Pills got down to nothing. The price of pills was nothing, dude. $1.50 on the streets. Smokers was paying $1.50, right? I ain't never seen drugs priced like that in my life. And you telling me all of a sudden the government just can't patrol the border anymore? They just can't figure it out? They just can't stop it from coming in? It's just flooding. It's just flooding the place now, huh? Right? It's been priced at a certain price forever and ever and ever. Like back in the day, if you was really plugged, you might have got an ounce for like $350, $400, unless you knew like a cook or something like that. But even the cooks was selling it for that much. And the mosquitoes are getting at me. But even the cooks was selling it for that much back in the day. You know, but normal was $600, $800 an ounce, something like that. That was normal. You know what I mean? Charge $150 for an 8-ball. You know, 80 for a teener, 90 for a teener, something like that. And then all of a sudden the price just collapsed. The border opened and the price just fucking collapsed. And we know that Biden did that shit on purpose. We know that Biden opened the border on purpose and just let all the people in. You think he didn't know? Can the people in the government be so stupid as to think the drugs wouldn't get in too? Is what we have to ask ourselves. Are they really that stupid? Are they really that incompetent? I don't think so. These are supposed to be the smartest people. These are supposed to be our leaders. They're supposed to be the smartest people around. Anyway, used to be get paid from the pharmacy, 100 milligram pills. Oh yeah, I literally buried about 5,000 hydromorphones so my ex couldn't get them. But I got 10 100 milligram pills. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking, used to get paid from the pharmacy for our methadone script. Yeah. Yeah. We used to get them like they were nothing. We used to get whole bottles. We used to buy whole scripts from people. Whole scripts from people for nothing. Yeah, perks for like 75 cents a piece, 50 cents a piece, something like that. You know, they knew what they were doing. They knew what they were doing, and they did it anyway. Now society's reaping the repercussions of it, and then what's happening? They're reaping the repercussions of it, and they're like, oh, well the what's call's gotten out of control. The drug problem's gotten out of control now. We don't know what to do about it. Oh, I know what to do about it. Everybody who catches a charge, we'll just fucking run up a bill with Medicaid, since Medicaid's going to pay for treatment now. Right? We're just going to run the fucking bill up. Since we can't control the problem anymore, we'll just profit off it. Right? Since we're not going to mass incarcerate people anymore, we're just going to profit off of it. We'll just use it to bolster the economy. We'll just bilk the federal government out of a bunch of money. You know? That's not sustainable. Every time somebody gets a ticket for drugs, they put them in this probation. They're sentencing everybody to probation, and then they're going to bilk the federal government out of 40, 50 grand. Is that sustainable? That's not sustainable. We have Trank here now. Yeah. Yeah. We got Trank out here too. Anyway. These mosquitoes are killing me tonight. Anyway, my friends, I got to get to bed. Go talk to the homies a little bit. Get to bed. I'll be back soon. I'll be back a lot more now that I'm going to have a car here. I'll go live and let y'all know whenever I get this car. I'll go live on Friday too, I think, because I just got a bunch of stuff to post on eBay on Saturday. I got a bunch of stuff to post. I got a bunch of stuff to ship out. I got 2 or 3 packages already sold that I got to ship out. And go get this car. Give me a new car, and then I'm then I'm whipping again, then I'm back in the like Rocky Strong, then I'm back in the gym like Rocky Strong, and working it out. Homie, getting it all back, you know what I mean? That's what we do. We bounce back. They can't keep us down. You know what I mean? Life's hard, homie. Life's a bitch. Then you marry one. What you gonna do? You know? Later, my friends. I love y'all. Later.